y vamos a entrevistar a Mitch, Pierre, un canadiense viajero que ha participado en varios documentales y que actualmente es uno de los dueños de este hotel. Hola Mitch.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien.
¿Tu español? Cuéntame, ¿dónde aprendiste español?
Hablo un poquito en español, pero yo viajar en Sudamérica, Centroamérica mucho, entonces hablo un poquito.
Muy bien.
Más o menos.
Oh, Mitch, no estoy segura. ¿Tu primer viaje aquí a Camboya fue cuando rodasteis el documental del tren de bambú?
Yeah, so I came here a few years back to film a documentary about the bamboo train in Battambang, and I'd been here prior to coming filming, and I got the idea to make a documentary about this sort of fascinating train. And actually, my very first documentary I've ever done was me hopping on a freight train in Canada, but that's another story. So the second film was this train in Cambodia, and then we filmed it and we sold it to CBC, and that's how I ended up here.
¿Cuánto tiempo tienes el Lotus Lodge y qué te hizo decidir llevar un hotel?
2 veces, no, 2 years, right? And yeah, we took over the hotel from a Dutch guy, and then I've been living here at the hotel in Siem for the past 2 years. It's great.
¿Puedes decirnos brevemente qué es lo que más destacarías del Lotus Lodge?
The Lotus Lodge is, as you can see, it's in a much more quieter neighborhood. A lot of greenery here, which is what I like. You can hear the birds. There you go. The hotel is in a bit of a quieter neighborhood, aside from the banging over there. But it is in a nice sort of quiet neighborhood. A lot of greenery, which is what I like. I wake up to the sound of the birds. And in town, it can be pretty hectic. So you kind of have both. You have the quiet area here, then you can just go into town, which is about 5 minutes away, and then you got all the nice restaurants and pubs and all that. As well, we really promote accessibility. We've had a couple groups that have come here because the hotel, we've done our best to make it as accessible for people who have wheelchairs to come to the hotel. And Cambodia is a very difficult place for people that want to travel here who have wheelchairs. So we're doing our best to try to accommodate those people as well.
Les dejaremos saber en España. ¿Puedes decirnos qué tipo de turista viene aquí al Lotus y qué tipo de turista te gustaría que realmente viniera a Camboya?
We get a lot of couples that come here. They like to be in quieter sort of hotel. We get a lot of elderly travelers as well. Families, we're in a safe area. There's a lot of space here, so we get a lot of families. It's a mixture of everybody. And then the type of people that come here are, I've met archaeologists, backpackers, families on vacation, adventurers. So it's a very wide-ranging. But I do find that a lot of people that do come to Cambodia are somewhat conscious of like issues, like conservation issues, or just more consciously aware of things. That's what I find anyway in people that come to Cambodia. I mean, it takes a certain somebody to say they want to come to Cambodia for a vacation. Most people just want to go to, Cancun or big resorts and stuff like that.
¿Puedes hablarnos ahora de los tours que organizan desde Lotus?
So we organize tours in wide range. We have obviously the temples. Everybody wants to go to temples. We organize tours on the microlight, ultralight aircraft. We have jeep tours, countryside tours, tours to remote temples that are hours away, floating village tours, bicycle tours. Really wide-ranging number of tours that we have.
¿Cuáles serían tus 3 principales recomendaciones sobre qué hacer y qué ver en Camboya?
What are the
3 biggest recommendations?
recommendations? I think obviously number one is the temples. I mean, nobody's going to come to Cambodia without seeing the temples. So the temples is definitely something you have to see when you're here. Also the floating village. There's a few floating villages on the Tonle Sap Lake, and those are just amazing to go see. And if you really like adventure, I think the microlight aircraft is definitely something to do. A lot of fun. It's, you know, you're flying up in the air, just one, or you and the pilot, and yeah.
Mitch, antes de mudarte aquí a Siem estuviste involucrado en diferentes actividades. ¿Sigues en alguna de ellas ahora?
Yeah, before coming to Cambodia, I was really involved in politics. I worked for a federal member of parliament for about 4 years. So I'm somewhat still keeping in touch with my political sort of contacts and stuff back home. As well, I was really into human rights issues as well. I advocated not only on Parliament Hill, but, you know, with the public in issues like, you know, Burma, Sudan, South America, Central America. I was really actively involved. I mean, Ottawa, I was living in the capital city, and, you know, it's the heart of the country, and, you know, Canada's a pretty progressive country in terms of, you know, advocating for human rights and issues like that. So, yeah, I'm still, I mean, living in Cambodia, it's a totally different world now, so I'm still trying to get as much as involved in, you know, things in Siem Reap as well.
Y puedes contarnos tu experiencia sobre viajar aquí en Camboya en silla de ruedas y en todos los viajes que has hecho previamente.
To be honest, I feel like Cambodia is probably the easiest place. I mean, all the tuk-tuk drivers here at the hotel, they know how to like pick me up, put me in the tuk-tuk, fold up my wheelchair, throw it in, and then the country is pretty flat as it is, so there's no, you know, big hills and mountains.
It's only the streets.
Yeah. And like, you know, other places like, for instance, La Paz in Bolivia was probably the most difficult country that I had to deal with, because the entire city is just like this, and it's all cobblestone, and even stairs to go to certain parts of the city. So that was pretty difficult, but, you know, still made it by, and people all around the world are very, I find, very genuine as it is, and good-hearted, and, you know, I ask for help all the time, and I'm not trying to ask for help. So if I need to get somewhere, like, oh, can you please help me get here or there, and everybody's always willing to help.
Leí algo en tu blog acerca de un tour que tuviste de Bélgica. ¿Puedes contarnos algo sobre
this group from Belgium? They heard about the hotel. Somebody wrote a blog about the hotel and, you know, being accessible, and then they contacted me. They're a bit worried because Cambodia is very, you know, it's not, accessibility is not even an issue in terms, you know, for the government of Cambodia. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that don't have wheelchairs in Cambodia, you know, so, I mean, they, rightfully so, they were worried, but, you know, I told them, I explained to them, like, you can definitely come here, you can do it. It's going to be challenging, of course, but especially for bigger people, you know, I'm a small guy, so, like, for me to get in and out of places is a little bit easier. But it was challenging, but they did it, and they had an awesome time. They stayed for about 5 days and saw so many temples, went to floating villages, and they all survived.
¿Cómo fue la experiencia con este grupo en los templos?
You know, obviously it's going to be challenging, it's a bit difficult, but, you know, I always go with at least 2 people that can help, like one person hold this and then the back and just carry me up and down and stuff. But, you know, I've been to the main temples here and some of the far off temples that are 3 hours out in the jungle, and yeah, definitely difficult. Like, I remember being inside Bengmalia temple, and that temple is just not accessible in any way possible.
Exactly.
And at one point I had to get out of my wheelchair because I didn't want them to lift me down, and I crawled down on my own down these step things. I'm not sure if I'll do it again, but maybe. But it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it, and, you know, I still have many more temples to go explore as well. But you can do it, definitely. It's challenging, but you can do it.
Bueno, esto es todo, amigos. Muchísimas gracias, Mitch. Te deseamos mucha suerte